Welcome to Conversations with Body and Mind with myself, Antoinette Nirvana. Body and Mind is your health and wellness online directory. And coming up in today's conversation, we'll be chatting to Chanel Lingenfelder. Her company is called Vision of the Heart. Good morning, Chanel. How are you doing?
Hi, Nirvana. I'm really cool. How are you doing?
I'm very excited. You have been with Body and Mind probably as long as I have. I joined Tracy about 2003 and started collaborating with her. You've been there right from the beginning, from about, 2000, correct?
Yeah, somewhere there.
They're really a good spokesperson as well for what Body and Mind can do for their members.
Correct. Yes.
Well, we're going to get more into that. I first want to know a little bit more about you and your work. You said that your awakening took place many years ago. What were those things that brought you into doing this work? What were the signposts in your life that said, this is what I want to do?
Well, you're not going to believe it. Death.
Wow.
Yes, I lost so many friends, and especially in 1991, I lost 6 friends in a row and nearly went insane. I thought, well, I'm next. I couldn't accept that there's just nothing to this world, and when you die, it's just over. So that sort of pushed me to start looking in other directions. And at the same time, I have to mention, I was then a very good Catholic girl. Catholic was the thing, and death you're not supposed to question. But anyway, I started searching, and then eventually I discovered the Theosophical Society. And through the Theosophical Society, I started learning about the afterlife. But there's a big story to this, which is obviously too long to share, which is what this book is that I'm busy writing at the moment. From childhood, I've had a lot of surreal experiences. My mother was a psychic and a clairvoyant. So I grew up within that kind of energy. Later on, once I started realizing that I no longer have to be afraid of death, and I have to incorporate the fears that I have to guide me into a new way of thinking and living while I'm alive, and how important that is. Doors started opening up, things started changing. I started getting amazing messages from people and from apparitions, if you will. From there, as they say, it's history. I went through a whole process. I set the intent to become a channel for spirit, but I was very specific about it. I didn't ever want to be a showroom medium, which is the reason I don't do normal readings as such. I specifically wanted to work with the Ascended Masters, and they took me through a very lengthy, intense process. It took a couple of years, and eventually in 2005, it all started happening with me becoming a channel for the Ascended Masters. And of course, from there on, we have learned the most incredible stuff, the most incredible body of work that's been presented to us and still is, about ascension, about awakening, and about working with your energy field to ensure that you not only do what you can to surpass all your expectations of this life, but more so almost like a preparation for the next, for what's to come. And that's sort of part of the thing that's really driven me. And as I said, with having lost so many people and generally just seeing how death affects people is incredible, because it is so, I mean, even for me, with all the knowledge that I've gained over the years, it still is such a shock. It's so final. But yet, if we can just open the door slightly and see what's on the other side, we'd be quite amazed about the whole process and how it truthfully happens.
Exactly. Well, that's amazing, Chanel. Well, I'm very keen to hear about what it is that you have to offer with Vision of the Heart. You have so many services, as I know. You can perform ceremonies and things like that. So why don't you tell us then a little bit more in depth about your work, Vision of the Heart, all the therapies and services and other things that you have to offer?
I started off when I lived in Durban. I had my own practice. And of course, I've worked in a number of places abroad, doing normal kind of therapies. And then eventually I was guided into doing sort of quite different things, working with energy. And by allowing that to flow, I tapped into a whole different range of treatments, which I offered for many, many years. I went through immense trauma in 2010, lost everything, and had to rebuild everything. And from there on, my whole focus shifted on me instead of me pleasing others. And I stopped doing all therapies. I've started again because we live in Kokstad, so it's very limited. So I've done the odd therapy here and there, but my whole thing has been I did readings for children, which was really, really an incredible phase that I went through, which I then also stopped because I started writing, and I'm writing 2, maybe 3 books at the same time. The first book is all about healing yourself and getting yourself organized. The second book is actually taking it further in teaching yourself and uplifting yourself and pushing yourself further to be more. The first book, very spiritual. The second book, a little bit less spiritual, but more sort of gutsy into the self. I mean, the name of the book, How to Fly Off the Planet in 12 Easy Steps. So it's a lot of humor and that kind of thing, because humor is very important. It's very important to bring laughter into everything and not to see things so seriously. But from the vision of the heart point of view, I've done a lot of ceremonies. I do weddings, I do christenings, I've done a lot of funeral services. Eventually, I joined the University of Metaphysics, which I'm still busy with, doing my ministry and then my bachelor's in that, which I'm still working on. But it's a great passion of mine to actually do these things and to help people. And especially, there's nothing wrong with Christianity. I mean, let's face it, there's nothing wrong with any religion. It's just the way they go about enforcing these thoughts and ideas. So if someone wants to have something done in a more light-hearted or a more sort of natural, spiritual way, then I love doing those kind of things. But like I said, what's come first for me in these last couple of years definitely is my writing, and through the books to be able to share my experience, which is, my first book is called The Sojourns of a Modern Day Disciple, because I'm a modern day girl, I am not a nun, I'm not a saint, I'm a normal person. And through my normal experiences of life is the teaching there is to be real with yourself, be real with life, and don't get caught up in stuff. Too many times, too many people try to follow certain ways of doing things, certain teachings, and they get caught up with it. Like en masse, there was quite a disappointment about the 2012, but what people don't realize, 2012 was the most incredible, amazing event ever. And it shifted vibrational frequencies around the planet like never before. And it's that doorway that's allowed this huge awakening to take place now. But unfortunately, along with that awakening, all the chuchas are coming out of the woodwork. And that's what we're busy dealing with now on a greater level. So my work is really sort of very varied, like I say, and of course workshops. I did 101,000 workshops when I was in Durban, and I love doing workshops. My first 2 modalities that I tapped into was color and chakras. I then wrote my own thesis on chakras and color, and I presented these in workshops, and we've literally done tens of hundreds of workshops throughout Durban and South Africa, which I also did it for the corporate world. Can you believe it? And this was in 2007, which was still a long time ago. And then, of course, the whole energy shifted. So I'm very much in the moment where I am and where my passion is at. My big thing is to do things from the heart, to help people where you can, because every time you help someone, something great happens to you. It's like gratitude.
Exactly. And also, one of the other things that I know that you are doing is you're a copywriter, which is a lot of people like myself who's a bit dyslexic, need somebody like you. You've been doing a lot of copywriting for Tracy as well, with her documents and website and stuff like that. What else have you been doing?
Well, the copywriting is a big thing. I've been doing it for years for her. I was also a bit dyslexic. But when you focus on that which is wonky, the whole world tumbles. But when you focus on that which is amazing, the whole world unfolds. And I decided I no longer want to be dyslexic. I want to be good with words. I want to be able to write and tell a story on paper and transform words. So I also do copy editing or copywriting for people. If people want to rewrite stuff that they feel they should. I've done a lot of work on body and mind for people to help people to express what they believe they do or they do in their practices and to put that into words.
Yeah, I prefer to talk to people. That is my passion, is to be able to have these amazing conversations. That is what I really enjoy.
You're very good at
Thank you very much. Chanel, so the last bit, I just wanted to check with you. Body and Mind has got this new verification, which is something that is so important, that we know who are the people that we are contacting to do certain healings. I mean, as you say, there's all of these chochas, your words, that is around us at the moment, and I completely get what you're saying. The energies are so dual. You know, we've got the light and the dark working against each other at the moment. We want to know that who we are going to is actually working with the light and is working with the correct type of energies. Tell me a little bit more about what is the Body and Mind verification, and what are all the things that is required to be a verified member on Body and Mind.
Okay, but before I do that, I just want to say that I've been a member, as you say, for years, and I've not come across any platform that do the kind of work that Body and Mind does. And it's not just because Tracy is a friend and because I love the site. It's really and truly because what they do. I know the heart space they work from. The verification process, why we're simply asking people to verify what they do, their current practice, what they're practicing, what their work experience is, and then, of course, their qualifications, which is really very important. But basically, that is just to sort of show people your experience and show people your background and show people where you come from, and that you actually, you're validating yourself as a healer, as a person that gives service, etc.
Yeah.
That is why it's so important for people to do all these interviews that you are doing, like you're doing now, for people to get to know who they're talking to.
Exactly. And then there's also having a review done on the work that Body and Mind and the team would have an experience with the different practitioners or therapists or psychics or, you know, whatever it is, to have that review done by Body and Mind as well. And, you know, as you say, the Skype interviews, that people can really hear from the heart the people when they are talking about the work that they're doing. And you know, there's an energy that kind of flows from when people speaks about what they do.
Yes, absolutely. And that is why customer feedback is so important. You know, we want to know what your customers think, because if we put that out on the verification, it can be so very good for you, because people want to know what other people say, which very often, especially in the case of readings and that kind of thing, people don't want their names mentioned, which is why we've put a clause in there that customer may use a nickname for publication, but put their details if someone wants to contact them. And then also it's to inspire people to submit and contribute articles relating to what they do, an interesting article that they saw in the newspaper. If it's from another source, they need to credit the source. Interesting articles relating to anything that Body and Mind does. And it's such a wide, open platform that there's just so much that you can do. And at the same time, inspiring people to put pictures in there, to put information in there for people to know you, and that if someone goes and looks on the site, that they can actually straight away feel that they can relate to you and they can be close to you, etc. I mean, it took a long time for Tracy to actually decide that she wanted to have a 200 Rand admission fee or admin fee. And we spoke about it a lot, and I really want to bring this up because it's important. Initially, she didn't want to do it, but when we started doing the admin, we realized that it's for each person, to capture each person's details and to portray it out in the way we're going to do, which is exquisite. It takes time. It takes hours and hours on the computer and on the admin. Is we want to capture all this stuff so that it can boost Body and Mind as a professional platform, and to ensure that whoever is involved in this platform is just as professional as the platform. That's basically what it's about.
Exactly. Totally. And also the admin fee, at the end of the day, there's an exchange of energy. And I think most of the people who are involved with Body and Mind and have worked with Tracy know that Tracy has not ever been a rip-off person. It's not about how much money she can get out of her members. It is, she, as you say, I've also worked with her for years. She really comes from her heart and she cares for every single person that is involved with Body and Mind. And that is the difference between her and, let's say, there's any other platforms who is trying to do the same thing. There is definitely a different realness, concern, care that Tracy brings to all the people that is part of Body and Mind.
Absolutely.
Please give us your contact details, how people can get hold of you, if you have any social media pages, your website, if you could share that with us, please.
Well, first of all, our blog is visionoftheheart.org. My phone number is 083-787-2893. My Skype is vision.of.the.heart.
And then, of course, please don't forget that you can go to Body and Mind, which is www.bodyandmind.co.za. You can also go to the Body and Mind blog, bodyandmindblog.co.za, and also available now on Android as well as your Apple iStore. You can now find the Body and Mind Health Directory, and all of our interviews, our members, all the contact details will be available in the palm of your hand. And then please don't forget to join our YouTube channel and subscribe, and then also please don't forget to like any of the conversations and share it to those that you think will gain benefit out of all of these wonderful conversations that we are having. Chanel, that was really a lovely chat with you.
Very, very nice. Thank you very much for having me.